Imagine, a helicopter carrying a nation's leader crashes in a remote, dense forest. This isn't a scene from a movie, but a shocking reality Iran faced recently. In the heart of the Zagros mountain range, a tragedy unfolded on a fateful Sunday in May of 2024. A helicopter carrying Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi was returning from the opening ceremony of the Cheez Khalasi Dam near the Iran-Azerbaijan border.
Hello and welcome to our viewers here in the United States and all around the world. I'm Paula Newton and we are following breaking news out of Iran, where state media has now confirmed the death of President Ebrahim Raisi and the country's foreign minister after a deadly helicopter crash.
The journey that started in celebration ended in sorrow as the helicopter crashed, painting a sorrowful tale of human fragility. The crash site, a dense forest, posed significant challenges for the rescue efforts. The adverse weather conditions, a wicked cocktail of fog and rain, further complicated the situation. Despite the valiant attempts by the Tri-Forces, the relief efforts were slow and painstaking. The country's official media later confirmed the devastating news. President Raisi, along with Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian, had perished in the crash. The vehicle of their unfortunate demise was a Bell 212 helicopter, a model with a history of past incidents. The crash wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was a national crisis. President Raisi's sudden demise created a power vacuum at a critical time in Iran's history. The country was already grappling with social and economic crises, compounded by U.S. sanctions. The loss of its leader has left Iran in a precarious state, teetering on the brink of uncertainty. Raisi, a hardliner and protege of Ayatollah Khamenei, was a pivotal figure in Iran's political landscape. His death has prompted national mourning in Iran, Syria, and Lebanon, and raised questions about the nation's future direction. The world watches with bated breath as Iran navigates through this turbulent period, its fate hanging in the balance. The crash wasn't just a personal tragedy, but a national crisis, leaving a power vacuum at a critical time in Iran's history. The Bell 212 helicopter, a model purchased in 1979, was the ill-fated vehicle carrying the Iranian delegation. This particular model has a history that is not without its share of incidents. From emergency landings to fatal crashes, the Bell 212 has been involved in a number of mishaps over the years. Some experts argue that the age of the aircraft and the challenges of maintaining older models may have contributed to these incidents. But it's not just about age. The story of Iran's aviation sector is one of resilience and resourcefulness in the face of adversity. For years, Iran has been grappling with U.S. sanctions that have significantly impacted its ability to renew its fleet of aircraft. The sanctions have not only made it harder for Iran to purchase new aircraft, but they've also limited the country's access to spare parts and maintenance services. In response to these challenges, Iran has turned to reverse engineering as a means to keep its aging fleet airborne. By disassembling aircraft parts and fitting them to other aircraft, the country has managed to maintain its aviation sector despite the sanctions. But this method raises questions about quality and safety. Are these reverse-engineered parts as reliable as their original counterparts? And are the older models, like the Bell 212, safe to fly in challenging weather conditions? In the case of the Bell 212 that carried President Raisi and his delegation, it was a model purchased back in 1979. That's over 4 decades of service, 4 decades of wear and tear. And although it's unclear whether the age of the helicopter or the quality of its parts played a role in the crash, these factors cannot be overlooked. The question remains, did these circumstances play a role in the tragic crash? With Raisi's untimely death, Iran faces a power vacuum and an uncertain political future. Ebrahim Raisi was a formidable figure in Iran's political landscape, having ascended to the presidency on his second attempt in 2019. His political journey, marked by persistent ambition and hardline ideologies, was abruptly cut short by a tragic helicopter crash. Under Raisi's leadership, Iran grappled with a host of internal and external pressures, from dealing with mounting economic difficulties imposed by U.S. sanctions to managing escalating tensions with Israel. Raisi's tenure was far from smooth sailing. Yet he managed to carve out a distinctive identity for himself, gradually strengthening his grip on the country's politics. Raisi's death has left a void in Iran's political landscape, and speculation is rife about his potential successors. Among the possible contenders is Mohammad Mokhber, Iran's vice president, who has been appointed as the interim president. At 69 years old, Mokber represents continuity and experience. Yet, the question remains if he will be able to steer the country through these turbulent times. What adds to the complexity of the situation is the role of the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. At 85, Khamenei holds considerable sway over the country's affairs, including foreign policy, defense, security forces, and the judiciary. His endorsement is crucial for any presidential aspirant, further complicating the succession process. As Iran mourns the loss of Raisi, the country finds itself at a crossroads. Will it continue on the path of hardline ideologies? Or will it open up to more moderate influences? Will the upcoming elections provide a platform for liberals to raise their voices? Or will they be silenced once again? Who will emerge as Iran's next leader in these turbulent times? That's a question on everyone's mind. In the aftermath of the crash, an investigation was launched to uncover the cause behind this tragic incident. A team of experts from various departments was dispatched to the accident site. They meticulously combed through the wreckage looking for clues in the tangled metal and charred remains. The initial report from the country's armed forces revealed that the helicopter had adhered to its predetermined route. No evidence of bullets or explosives was discovered in the fragments, ruling out foul play as a potential cause. The consensus was that the helicopter had collided with a hill before catching fire, a tragic accident precipitated by the dense fog and unforgiving terrain. The search for the crash site had been a daunting task given the dense forest and the enveloping mist. Turkey, in a display of solidarity, came forward to assist. They deployed advanced Bayraktar Akinci drones, which, using heat detection, located the site based on the fire emanating from the crashed helicopter. This international cooperation was a beacon of hope amidst the gloom, a testament to the bonds that withstand even the most testing times. In the wake of President Raisi's death, a wave of mourning swept across the nation. The grief was palpable, a collective outpouring of sorrow from a nation in shock. From Tehran to Mashhad, people came together to remember their fallen leader. Raisi was laid to rest in the holy city of Mashhad, an honor befitting his status. His funeral was an emotional affair, a sea of mourners paying their last respects. It was a solemn reminder of the high price of leadership and the fragility of life. As Iran mourns its loss, the world watches closely, waiting to see how the nation will navigate this crisis. The final chapter of Raisi's story is yet to be written, and only time will reveal the full impact of his sudden departure. The ripples of this tragic incident are felt not just in Iran, but across the globe. The sudden demise of President Ebrahim Raisi has opened a new chapter in Iran's political narrative, leaving many questions in its wake. The impact of this event on Iran's political landscape and its relations with the West, particularly the United States, will be significant. We've discussed the circumstances surrounding the tragic helicopter crash, the history of the ill-fated Bell 212, and the potential implications for Iran's political landscape. We've also explored the ongoing investigation into the incident and the aftermath that has ensued. The loss of President Raisi, a significant figure in Iran's politics, has undoubtedly created a vacuum of power. It will be intriguing to see how this vacuum is filled and what direction Iran will take in the coming months and years. As we delve deeper into the complexities of this incident, it's important to consider the role of U.S. sanctions and their possible contribution to the state of Iran's aviation industry. Could this tragedy have been averted if Iran had access to more modern aircraft? Or was this a mere unfortunate coincidence? These are questions that merit further investigation and discussion. We've also touched upon the last moments of President Raisi, images of which have been circulating on the internet, capturing the attention of millions worldwide. The human aspect of this tragedy is not lost amidst the political implications, reminding us of the fragility of life and the unanticipated turns it can take. The world is watching, waiting to see how this story unfolds, but for now, we remember Ebrahim Raisi and the others who lost their lives in this tragic incident. Thank you for joining us today. Please share your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned for more updates on this developing story.